Hi everyone, it's Al Nygren back with another filmmaker interview for the New Jersey Film Festival Fall 2012 season. It's our 31st anniversary and we have a lot of wonderful programs set up. Today I have David Spaltro. He is the director of Things I Don't Understand, which is a feature film, independent film, that will be on our opening weekend, which will be playing on Saturday, September 15th in Voorhees Hall, room 105, on the College Avenue campus of Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey. David, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
I wanted you to tell us a little bit about this terrific independent film.
This is my second feature film. It's kind of made after my first feature film. It was called Around, which we did in 2007, 2008. The script kind of came out of, I don't know, it was an idea I'd had when I had done some volunteer hospice work, and I'd come up with the initial idea when I was at a School of Visual Arts to study film. And it's basically about relationships and what happens after we die. And it mostly follows a postgraduate student named Violet, played by Molly Rodman, who I had worked with on my first film, and her quest interviewing people with near-death experiences, and just how she kind of forms a cathartic bond with a terminally ill girl she begins to interview when she gets back to her thesis, and a bartender who lives downstairs, and how all these relationships change her and push her closer to what she's looking for.
Yeah, you know, I remember one of the things I read, because I was not on the jury of your film, but I of course did see it post facto, and I read the judges' comments, and one person wrote, "I laughed, I cried, and it made me think about my own life." And you know, when a film does that to somebody, and especially a film that's made with modest means, and you know, your film looks like millions of dollars.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
it
much.
probably wasn't made for as much as that. But the lead actor, Molly Ryman,
Yes.
I think you can't take your eyes off her.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I think people always say that. But the other supporting cast is also quite wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
How did you come across these people?
I think Molly was always, I really enjoyed working with her on Around, and this was also a chance to sort of stretch her, because the character is something where there might be some similarities inside, but the exterior stuff was something she never really got a chance to play. She was always typecast as the girl next door. So there was a good chance that I kind of wrote it with her in mind. And the rest of the cast, I just auditioned. Like we found Grace Folsom, who does an amazing job as the girl dying. It's just, that was the first thing she'd ever done. She'd just come out of NYU, like her first film.
Wow.
So casting to me is very important, because at that budget, and the kind of human stories that I tell, those are your special effects. So every actor is very carefully kind of put together for me. They have to be, one, excellent at what they do, but more importantly, really fit the part and kind of bring a little bit to it. And so that's how I have.
And you know, when you go to the multiplexes, the type of movies that you see are really almost like roller coaster rides, and they're video games.
Absolutely.
And the human element is completely lost in the movies that we see, unfortunately, on the big screen in the multiplexes. And that's why we really champion works like yours, because they do celebrate life, and they are about people just like you and me. And I don't know, I thought the cinematography was just amazing. Just the whole look of the film, the way it moved, was really quite scintillating, and I wanted to commend you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. That's Gus Sachs, and our gaffer Andrew Hubbard, and our production designer Emmeline Wilkes. They had worked together on a bunch of films. They were these young, hungry kids, and we did a lot of talking about the themes.
And it had this kind of energy to it, very scintillating. Tell us a little bit more about the film. I mean, what is our audience going to expect when they go see this movie?
I think the idea is the film is really about faith, and not just religion or what you believe, but just about having faith in life and yourself and other people in these. And for me, it's about not so much trying to force feed an answer, whether what you believe, what happens when we die, or if there's anything more out there, or if we're alone, but just putting the conversation out there and letting people, much like the characters in the film, kind of find their own way to it. So I kind of want to just open up that conversation for people and entertain them at the same time.
Well, that's the other thing. The writing is just amazing. And you wrote the script yourself.
I did, thank you.
How long did it take you to get this to come together?
Oh, well, I mean, the initial idea, the stuff between the two women in the hospice was going to be a short film. I would have done my thesis here at SVA, which is the school I went to, but I just was too young, and I didn't really have a story. And then after I'd done my first film, I was kind of burned out, and I found the pages and was like, I wrote it mainly as a cathartic exercise. I had no intention of doing it, and then it just kind of evolved from there, and the more people got involved and responded to it.
But at the same time, you know, it wasn't just. It doesn't seem like it was just an exercise. It flows so smoothly. where just when you get tired of a moment, it switches gears, and it keeps you honest, as a viewer. You have to maintain your interest in the film, and it's done effortlessly as a viewer. I never got tired of the film. And
thank you so much.
I see thousands of films every year, and that's one of the things, when I read the judges' comments, they were all really very laudatory. So it's something that I wanted to mention to you. This film is going to be playing as part of a triple bill.
Oh, great.
On our opening weekend.
Bang for your buck.
Yeah, a lot of good films, and they all have a kind of student theme. As I mentioned to you earlier, the very first film is by Matthew Riddle, who's a local resident from Piscataway, New Jersey. It's a 1-minute film about a man who turns into a cat.
Okay.
The second film actually is by a fellow who used to work at the station, Zach Marson, who's also a Rutgers student. And his film is a documentary about the rivalry between Princeton and Rutgers. So we have another student angle there, and then we feed into your feature film.
Awesome.
And all of those films will be there for $10. Plus, there's free food that night, thanks to Jimmy John's.
That's a whole. You're providing a whole evening for people.
You can't lose.
Yeah.
So, folks, if you really want to check out this film and meet David, who will be there at the film to take questions and answers and introduce this film, it'll be on Saturday, September 15th, in Voorhees 105, starting at 7 p.m. Information is at njfilmfest.com. Phone number is 848-932-8482. And please come and check out this wonderful program and come and meet David.
Thank you. Thanks
so much. Thank you.
Right on.